I'm Kimmy Rooney. I'm like I said, a PhD student candidate in the Department of French and Italian. My specialty is literature written in French from sub-Saharan Africa, looking at some specific novels. And I'm really very thankful for W and the engagement grant for helping me create this project that really marries my two kind of vocational my two vocations, one which is literary analysis, but also teaching. And so this project that I've embarked on is creating teaching materials for high school English and French classrooms that feature global women writers. And so my dissertation right now is focusing on the representation of the school in sub-Saharan African literature, particularly three contemporary novels that really feature the school, though my project is kind of based on this premise that the school just keeps coming up in the literary universe of sub-Saharan Africa over and over again. And so what the 4W engagement grant allowed me to do last summer was to really advance that research of these literary representations of the school. And I've continued that work throughout the year. And it's been really exciting. And I've kind of parsed out these elements of these literary works that really question what education is and what the school can do for especially young girls in contemporary times. So that's part of what I did last summer. And another part of the project was to consult English language arts and French teachers in the state of Wisconsin. I have a couple of different partners and ask them what resources they need in order to be able to feature these women writers more centrally in their curriculum, because not only are materials for these women or these writers are understudied, the materials are underdeveloped, but then also creating again materials that don't replicate kind of the colonial epistemologies that are oftentimes inherent to the school. So these are the kind of big questions that me and my practitioners have been discussing. And then the next step, and then what's happening now and what has been happening, is creating these materials, these literature-based and language-based materials that high school practitioners can use, and absolutely into the tertiary education practitioners will be able to use to center these female voices. So Prerna, you can go to the next slide. I wanted to just give one brief example of what this kind of looks like today, or what one of these pieces of material looks like. So this is just one. I have been studying the book The Belly of the Atlantic by Senegalese author Fatou Diome. This novel is in my dissertation. It's a major chapter of my dissertation, but it is also a fascinating book, so I recommend it to anyone. It's been translated into English and including many other languages. Published in 2003. So it's one of the more recent, even though, that's already over 20 years ago, unbelievable, but one of the more contemporary representations of the school. It also brings in questions of soccer and how football has become kind of a push for African youth to want to migrate to Europe. And there are some really important questions and problematizations of that in this book. This document that I created is for a French classroom because it's in French, but it could very easily be translated into English for English language arts students as well. And what it asks is, this first question is for students to reflect upon a very strong memory from their school days, thinking more primary school, elementary school. And I have students journal about this. And so they're activating some of the memories, some of the senses that they can remember from this specific memory of their schooling. Because then what we do next is read a very specific memory from an excerpt from this book that recounts a very specific memory of its main character. And what I want students to be able to do then, and even in a French language classroom where they might not be at the level yet to read an entire novel, these students can engage with at least an excerpt of this literary piece in order to not only relate it to their own experiences in their own lives, but activate kind of an appreciation for literature and also the skills to be able to take in a text like this. So I have students in this reading matrix on the right here compare their own experiences that they have journaled about or they have reflected on to what they find in the text. And here on the left-hand side, they're looking for predominant emotions that are available in the text. And then they have to find textual evidence for that. That's part of the, that's one of the skills that this lesson will have as an objective. Looking at the people who are implicated, teachers, students, administrators, et cetera, parents, the important objects in the classroom space or this classroom memory. And then like what an adult lens, these last two boxes are what an adult lens would bring, or a 16-year-old lens would bring to this school time memory. And so this is getting into the details here, but what I want students to be able to do, and I want teachers to be able to facilitate, is tying together a personal experience with something that we're reading in literature so that students have a connection to these women writers who are casting the school or casting their childhood memories in such artful ways. So connecting it with their own experiences, and then also being able to see differences too, of course, across cultures, across time, across geographies, and be able to appreciate these different lived experiences of not only the authors, but their characters as well. And so I think I'll leave it at that because there's lots more to be done here, and the implementation of these lessons is still yet to be done. But I'm excited to follow up with my practitioners to see how these work out in their classrooms and how they can be improved in the future, and then what other materials I could help them make in the future. Thank you very much.